Hi guys, and before you watch the next video, I just wanted to mention a new thing that we've got on AJ, the Player channel, the YouTube channel. So in answer to a lot of your comments, we need to invest in some new equipment and we need to get to some new places to bring you some even better content. And I thought, what better way of doing that than opening up a Patreon account or Patreon account from where you are in the world. If you would like to donate and help us to get bigger and better and bring you better quality videos, then just go to the home page on AJ the Player, the YouTube page. If you're on a PC, it's very simple. I've already put the link up and you can either donate a single amount. I'm not worried even if it's a single pound, it doesn't matter, it's all gonna help. Or you can donate a regular amount as well. If you're on a phone or a tablet, it's slightly different. You have to just scroll across until you come to the About section. And that there will have the two links. It's got a PayPal link and the Patreon link. Guys, thanks for your support. We're doing our best to bring you the best quality videos possible. Enjoy the next video. Hi guys, welcome back to the Player YouTube channel. You join me today on a beautiful day with the new Niro from Kia Motors. And this one is the Eco Hybrid. It's not the plug-in one, it's the other one. So it's got a petrol engine under here. But we'll talk about the engine in a minute. This, being the new version, has a few updated bits and pieces. You get this different grille here, you've got a much lower splitter down here. But one thing you do get that I really love is a full set of LEDs, and that includes the running lights, the headlights, and the fog lights down here. Let's check this car out. Let's get inside it, let's get underneath it, let's get around it, and see what we think of the new Kia Niro. So let's have a look under the bonnet first. The bonnet release is just down here in the driver's footwell, very easy to locate, and obviously if you are on a left-hand drive car, it'd be in the passenger footwell, makes sense. Under the bonnet, well, Kia's made it very easy to open it, nice big button there. Just pull that across, stick that up there for a bit of safety, also to save my muscles. So, as you can see, you get a petrol engine and you get an electric motor, and you combine the two. So the petrol engine is a 1.6 litre and it's a 4-cylinder jobby, and it develops around about 139 brake horsepower. This is a 1.5 kilowatt motor and it recharges itself automatically, so you don't need to plug it in because it's not the e-hybrid one that we're doing the review on. This one uses what we call a KERS regenerative system. Very difficult to say if you haven't got your right teeth in. So basically what it does, as you brake or as you coast when you come in, when you put your foot on, you know, when you're coming in, slowing down, it picks up that residual energy and converts it back into the battery, into the electric motor here. And then when you're driving around town, under 25, under 30 miles an hour, 28 to 30, this little electric motor will do all the work for you. It's a brilliant system. It reflects on the overall consumption of the car and how many miles you get to the gallon, but we'll cover that when we get it out on the road. First things first, let's get round the front, sit in the front and see what it's like for the driver. Here we go, guys. I love the cockpit. I love Kia cockpits where you sit, where the action happens. And the first thing I've noticed as I jumped in, you get this sort of piano black effect across here. But look how seamless that 10-inch TFT touchscreen is. The whole thing just sort of melts into one. It's a beautiful, beautiful design, and at the same time, a stunning high definition screen, which is amazing for the money. Over here you've got a 7-inch digital cluster as well. We'll have a look at that in a minute because that's really lovely as well. Down here, let's start. I'm so excited about this car. It's so lovely to actually sit here. It's just beautifully presented. You've got a large glove box in here. You pretty much get almost anything in there. It's really good. Instead of what looks like a 12-volt adapter, it's actually a standard USB out post you've got in there, which is very nice. That acts as a nice armrest as well. You get a double cup holder. There's no energy drink holder in the middle here, so obviously in South Korea they don't drink energy drinks because they would have put one in there otherwise. Here comes some of the best bits. This is like, I love these little bits that you get extra. I'm going to pull that door to because it just makes it sound, oh, it's just lovely in here. Right, so you've not only got heated seats for him and her, his and her, or him and him, you've got cooled seats as well. How nice is that? And then the pièce de la résistance, in my best French accent, a heated steering wheel. Now that means you know where I'm going to go with this. You could take your gloves off when you get in here in the winter, and that means you can touch your knobs with your bare hands. That means you can touch a knob like that with your hands, not with your gloves on. And you can't beat it when you get your gloves off and you get hold of a knob. That's, yeah. And talking about knobs, look, there's 4 lovely knobs here. And these knobs here are for controlling the temperature. How simple is that? That's so easy. That's the way we want it. We don't want digital stuff that we've got to find and tap in, and you're trying to drive along and you're going, well, I want to go get hotter and I want to go colder, and oh, you know, you can tell what's going on. You need your knobs. And then you need your knobs for your volume, because this has a Jbl Sound System built into it, 8-speaker surround system. So when you actually, there you go. Love that song actually. That was good timing. But we'll turn that, see, I can just turn it down. And if I want to change the station, I want to listen to something else, I can just turn the tuner, like the old days. Beautiful. Well done, Kia. We love that. Let's take a look at the steering wheel here. Moving away from me lovely knobs. On the right hand side here, built into this as well, you get your lane, it's not lane departure, this is actually lane keeping button. So once you've got this car set up out on the road, you can actually get it to stay in the lane, as long as it's got the white lines. Obviously, if you're going down a country road, I wouldn't suggest it. But you could, if it was allowed, actually take your hands off and it would steer it for you. You've also got the cruise control on here and the distance control. So it will actually sense the distance between you and the car in front. Now, I find on a lot of cars, it's very difficult to get it all set up. I'm pleased to report on this car, it's so simple. You push the button, you move it up and down to what speed you want, and then if you want to swap over, it's got a little menu button here. You can go up and down, scroll across, and it will move that across that instrument cluster, and you can see how near you get to the car in front just by little red lights. So easy. On the left hand side, you've got the telephone system, you've got the voice bit, you know, for your Android and your Apple mirroring, so you can push that and it will do the search and all that thingy. And you've got your volume adjustment. It is just nice. And the steering wheel size, the actual grip and everything, I think is perfect. It's beautiful. This is a 6-speed auto gearbox. Behind it is a wireless charging for your Apple Gizmo phone thing. That goes in there. And behind that, you've got, on the left there, a nice 12-volt adapter. On the right, you've got a Super C USB charger, and in the middle, a standard USB charger. They've thought of everything in this car. Bit more piano black round here, and a lovely bit of camera system as well. You can push the cameras on this once it's started. We'll do that when we get, you know, do the road test. I think it'll be a lot easier, and then I can show you the cameras. Guys, let's have a look in the back, because so far, this car, nothing has disappointed me. Oh, one more thing while we're here. You get a decent sunroof as well. So you've got your sound system, you've got your sunroof, and you've got your knobs. No brainer. Let's see what it's like for the passengers. I'll tell you what, you just can't beat a Kia, because look, I mean, that is just spot on. You've got enough leg room, you've got tons of height here, because this car is almost like pulled apart a bit more. You get some nice LED sort of courtesy lights in here as well. I like them. Again, I'm going to just pull this door shut because I want you to see, look at the size of this window, and all the windows at the back in this are all tinted as well. So you don't get that sort of heavy sunlight coming in here. But just having that window that size and just below the shoulder means that you could sit in there quite comfortably and not get car sick. It'd be highly unusual. Still keep putting these stupid things on the back of the seats. I mean, there's no point in them at all. I should do away with them. The seats themselves, well, I've got quite a nice clear view out. So, you know, I'm not going to be averse to sitting in the back here for a couple of hours. I think it's nice and comfortable. Let's take a look around what we've got. So we've got the centre piece here, the armrest, double cup holder in there. There's no ski hatch, or the B&Q as I call it here in the UK. One good thing is, I love the way these seat belts have been recessed into the seat, so you can slide easily across, and the transmission tunnel down here is very low, so it makes it easy for 3 people to sit in here. And I think I'd be quite happy sat here in the middle for a fair while. I'd be all right. The only thing I did notice, and I think this is the biggest letdown, that Kia, you've really disappointed me here. There are no USB chargers for the kids in the back here. Okay, so we can adjust some air in here, which is good, but we can't adjust the temperature. How much more would it cost just to put a couple of USBs in there? There's enough in here and up front. Just extend them a bit and put them in the back here. Because if you've got a couple of screaming kids in the back, you know, playing on their gizmos, whatever, and they can't charge the things up, or they've only got one, you need 2. it's a bit pointless for having kids in here. Speaking of kids, you do get the Isofix points either side, which are hidden away there, which is nice. They're tucked right back in there. All in all, it's a very comfortable place to sit. I'm loving this car. It's really ticking every box in my book. Right, let's get round the boot and see how much stuff we can get in there. Let's check in the boot because it looks quite big, but who knows? It could be a bit of a Houdini or it could be completely the opposite. Before we open it, I just want to have a look at these new lights at the back here. They're slightly different from the old one as well. The actual look of the back, it does look more squat. It looks a little bit more SUV than the old one, I think. You get this big sort of panel across the top here with a brake light in there. It's a very wide but short screen. It's a bit like the Range Rover Evoque. It's that sort of screen size. But it doesn't seem to hinder when you're looking in your rear view mirror. But as yet, we haven't got out on the road to test that. Get a wash wipe there. That's pretty much it. There's no big fake exhausts or anything. Some nice little LED reversing light down there. And probably an LED fog light over this side, which is the legality of when you're driving one of these in the UK. Right, so there's no electronically assisted, but the gas struts are more than adequately pulling that up. Good. There's no throwaway parcel shelf here. And I say good because look at that, it's a proper blind. How easy is it to get it out though? Ooh, it's very easy to get out. Well, it was until I started. No, there we go, it is. Now, we're gonna have, Kia are so good at this, they must have thought of somewhere where you can put this. No. So what are you gonna do with it when you're out on the road and suddenly you need that extra space to put these seats down? Unfortunately, as usual, we're stuck with the parcel shelf. Except this one is an expensive one, so I'm not going to throw it like some of those horrible cheap ones that I normally do. Merely place it to one side, out of the way, and just say, get a grip, guys. Stop producing things that you can't put, you know, away when you've got to travel with them. So there's almost 350 litres of boot space here with the seats up. When you put these seats down, which is very easy to do, it's a 60-40 split. They go completely flat as well, which is an absolute brilliant system. We're now up to nearly 1,400 litres of boot space, so that's plenty of space in there. Underneath here, there is a pannier, and under that pannier, you can fold this back. There we go, look at that. Under here, there is a puncture repair kit, which is actually bolted into the car. And when they say punch, you get this thing, you know what I'm talking about, you know exactly what these things are. And you get this little pump. Now, let's just say we want to plug in at the back, we've got a rear puncher. We need to plug that into the 12 volt. Well, there's no 12 volts around here anywhere. There's no shopping hangers anywhere around here. Kia, you're starting to let me down now. I thought we were doing so well. Secondly, you cannot get a space saver for this car. They don't make one. Why not? Look, there's a huge space in here to put one. You can't use these when you have banged a wheel against the curb or you've done something to, you know, not even the tyre. If you rip it or something, you can't pump it up again, stick this stuff in it. It's not going to go anywhere. It's all going to blow out all over the road. Why don't you sell a space saver option to go in here? No brainer if you ask me. Okay, so at least I've had a little grimace about this car because it was going rather well. I thought everything was absolutely too perfect. So we've got no 12 volt adapter, we've got no space saver, and we've got no shopping bag holders, and we have to throw away this parcel shelf. So it's a shame, but it's a big space. So it did tick one of the boxes. I think all we need to do now really is get it out on the road and give you the final evaluation on this new Kia Niro. Out on the road in the Kia Niro. First thing I noticed is the road noise, and I think that could just be the tyres. This has 18-inch alloys on it, which are quite large for such a small car. Although I think they're really good looking, the rims themselves. So it could be just tyre noise. But I do know it's quite a bit. It's quite noisy. Couple of safety aids you get on this car. I say a couple. There's loads of safety aids on this car. We start with the blind spot mirrors. Essential in today's modern driving. You cannot have a car without blind spot mirrors. Please, manufacturers, take note. You You must put them on there above all and everything else. Really important. These mirrors are also foldy-in ones, so when you lock the car, they fold in, just to let anybody know when you're parking. Very, very handy indeed. It's also got autonomous braking in town, so if a little mouse or something runs across the road and you don't see it, this thing will, and it will brake accordingly. And likewise, it will do it when you're in reverse as well. So you start reversing up the road and, you know, some sort of mammal runs out or something, a chicken or something, wherever you live, I don't know. Then if you don't see it because it's behind and it's low and you haven't seen it on the cameras, by the way, look at those lovely cameras. Definition, absolutely incredible. Really love those cameras on this car. Really gotta love those cameras. Then this thing will automatically brake in reverse as well, which is a really good system. It's also got an anti-collision avoidance system. Wow, sounds like something you'd have on an attack helicopter. Anti-collision avoidance system. Whoop, whoop. This thing, sorry, I'm losing the plot today. This thing it is a bit annoying sometimes as well. Not me, the car. Well, both of us really. It will beep up if it thinks you're going to have an accident. Like now, some guy's just run across the road on his bicycle. It didn't do it. Typical, that would have been perfect example. It's slightly oversensitive and I can't find a way of turning it off. Maybe you can't turn it off. If you know, there's a comment section down below. Please do let me know. I would really like to know if you can turn that off. It's a good system. It's just a little bit oversensitive and it does warn you. And if your foot's not near the brake, then you need to get it on the brake quickly because otherwise this thing will brake for you. Another good thing is if you unfortunately do have an accident in this car, as soon as you've had the accident, all the doors will be released. Whether you've got them locked or not, everything gets released, as in they don't ping open like Batman. They will just unlock themselves. So in the case of something severe like going into a lake or a river, they will immediately unlock and you can get out. Fingers crossed, we hope. There's bags of other bits and pieces. You know, I mentioned about the cruise control and the lane, keepy laney thingy that keeps you in the lane. I mean, that's all got safety aspects built into it as well. It's pretty incredible, this car, when it comes to safety. And that also goes with the pretty incredible warranty that you get with this car. If you're not aware of Kia cars, all Kia cars get a 7-year, 100,000 mile award-winning warranty, which you can't go wrong, guys. You buy one of these, you've got 7 years. As long as you keep the servicing up, don't forget that. That's really important. Keep it serviced and up to date, and you can pass on the warranty. So if you sell the car after 3-4 years, you can then pass that warranty on to the next owner as well. Absolutely incredible. That's how all cars should be. I think it's brilliant. Kia are doing an incredible job with that. It's got 2 modes in this car. I've got to show you this because I absolutely love this. When you put it, at the moment it's in eco mode. So it's got eco and sport. That's it. They're the 2 modes. When you put it in sport mode, like now, you get 2 rings of fire. Did you see that? I've got to go back into eco. Hang on, into eco. Boring mode. Right, here we go. But we're saving fuel. We'll talk about economy in a minute. Ready? We're going to go sport mode. And boosh! Boo! Boo! I love the rings of fire. But nothing happens. It's still fairly slow because it's not really built for speed, is it? Let's face it. Yeah, economy. So let's have a look at economy. We're currently getting 51.6. Let's keep it in eco because that's pretty good actually. That's around town. That's the urban, 51.6. Kia reckon it should be about 58, 62 on the combined. I haven't actually taken it out on a long drive yet, so you know. I mean, at 51.5 around town, that's pretty good. And it's a 1.6 engine as well. Incredible. So all in all, summing this car up, you know, it's a pretty good value for money car. We need to sum it up on price because there are 4 different trim levels. And the wonderful thing about Kia is, in other cars, when you have trim levels, you've got to remember, as a journalist, you have to remember all this. So you might have a GL, a GXL, a GLS, a GLT, an HTC, an ATM. They've got all these different numeric things, you know, and alphabetic, real confusing stuff. Do you know what Kia have got? Level 1, 2, 3, and 4. So level 1 being the entry level, level 4 being the top of the range. This is a level 4 car that I'm actually driving this week. And the level 4 car starts at 29,000 UK pounds, and that's pretty much stacked with everything I've mentioned on this car, so you're aware of that now. Entry level 24,600 UK pounds, Still a very good value for money car. Comes with a lot of the spec that I've shown you today as standard, so it's not something you need to really upgrade too much. And then you can go really silly if you want. You can upgrade the electric motors, you know, higher, more length of time it runs and how far you can go. What do they call it? Range, that's what it's called. And you can end up spending 38,000 UK pounds on one of these. I wouldn't suggest that. Competition wise, 3008, Peugeot, Duke, maybe Nissan Duke, T-Roc, T-Cross, don't know. They're all that sort of range. There's about 20, 25 different cars. I've just named a few off the top of my head there. Nothing in particular that I specifically wanted to talk about there, guys. It was just those that came to my mind. Anyway, as we start to get caught in a bit of traffic, which we're about to, we're going to sit at some traffic lights now for a couple of seconds. I will explain to you a little bit more about AJ the Player, because we are not a one-trick pony. We are part of a much bigger organisation. We are part of the Player. And the Player, hang on a minute, it's coming in this way. Here we go. There you go, www.theplayer.co.uk. If you go there, you can see our 200-page bookazine designed for us guys. And when I say designed for us guys, it's not full of boobies and, you know, other bits and pieces like Men Only or Penthouse or one of those old things, or the Player, or the Playboy, the Playboy. It doesn't have any of that. It's got cars, it's got boats, it's got great interviews in there with some really well-known people, some sports people, some celebrities, people like that. It's also got like places to eat out. It's got all sorts of sport, and it's just a general great guys, you know, magazine. We produce it as a hard-backed magazine, like a book. But what you can do is I'm going to offer it to you as a subscriber, or not a subscriber, just watching me on the Player YouTube. I'm going to give you free access to see anything online that we've got, and that includes all the previous books. So if you want to go online, you've got that for free. You just got to sign up. So go to that www.theplayer.co.uk, sign up. You must have an email. Stick your email in there, and you will get access to all those. It's well worth a look, guys. I'm sure you will really enjoy it. Let's sum this up. You've been watching me, AJ the Player. Thank you, as always. Like I always say, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and comment. And I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. That like does help. It keeps our supporters very happy. And at the same time, you know, if you want to subscribe, fantastic. We do at least 2, possibly sometimes 3 videos a week. All different stuff, from interviews, owners and their cars, car reviews, boat reviews, airplanes, helicopters, you name it, we do it. And if you want to be reminded of that, leave that little bell sign unchecked, and that will just give you a little tinkle when I put up a new video. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'm going to catch you next week with something different. Who knows what it'll be? Check back and find out. Safe driving. Take it easy.